Welcome back everyone, and we are now going to go over the Astro Pigeon deck, which was used by Stephen Brocky to win the Bush Road Springfest event. So once again, you can just pause the screen at any point and you should be able to get a decent look at what the deck does. So obviously this wasn't used by me, it is owned by me, but it was Brocky that was the one that was playtesting it. So I might get some things wrong, but I'm going to describe as best I can the reasons for why things were played. So this is the first instance. So we're playing 4 of King and only 2 of the secret one. Originally I played 3 and 3, and when we were looking at decks, we were seeing people, playing various different versions. Like playing like 3 or 4 different astrologer, and we didn't like it. It was Brocky's idea to put the king to 4 because he wanted to focus on just the offense, specifically the discard a card, stand all cards in your field. That was the main thing that he wanted. This astrologer, is actually one of my other friends, Thujin, who's a very, very good player. He's a former European champion. He was playing the Astro Dragon deck before us in one of the other team leagues, and we looked at his deck, and it was strange. We liked it, but it wasn't for us. His deck revolved around 4 of this and 4 of this, and it was just about keeping this guy on plus 10 defense. And so he's 15 defense, he's got counter attack, he's got soul guard, and he's massive, so the opponent has to run into this. But that wasn't what we were going for. We were thinking that doesn't do anything against Dimension Dragon or against Genesis Dragons, and we were hoping that no one had picked up the Genesis Dragon was actually okay. We were hoping that a lot more people were playing Max Dragons, and this deck is, with these 2, is much better against Max Dragons, but because Max Dragons have a limited number of attacks, so even though counter attack doesn't do anything Max Dragons because it can't be tried by card effects, it's still more defensive. So these were the only 2 astrologers that we were going to play, but King was the one that we wanted the 4 of. That was the thing that was guaranteed. Also, another reason is we've only actually got 3 of this guy. So, that was a problem. So that's why we're originally going to go 3 and 3, but Brocky was insistent, no, King's the best. Because with King, we can also go into this card, pay a gauge. So after you attack with everything, use King's effect, stand everything, attack with everything, pay a gauge with this, call back King, and then then attack with King, use his effect again, discard 1, stand the entire field again, attack with everything again. And, that's actually how he won the finals. In the mirror match against another amazing player called Kieran, who's also been to Worlds. He actually came 3rd in Worlds. He beat me in the top 8 of Worlds. So Kieran's an amazing player. I've known him for a long time. Years, in fact. I watched him grow up. So, for this guy, he's a grade 3. He becomes a grade 0. And move, double attack, soul guard, counter attack. He's just got everything, and also all attacks have to be redirected to him. So he's an amazing thing to just have on board. This size 0, 1 of, pay gauge, all Astro Dragons can be returned or can be rested or returned to hand, and also when he enters the field, put a size 2 or greater Astro Pigeon from your drop zone to your hand. I'm calling them Astro Pigeons because these aren't dragons, these are quite clearly birds. So it's been a running joke that these things have been called Astro Pigeons since near the beginning of the game. I don't know if that's only a thing in Scotland or if that's something everywhere does, but we've only ever called them Astro Pigeons. I was trying to call them Astro Dragons, but no, it's not working. They're Astro Pigeons. Okay, so 4 Coop. Coop is absolutely ridiculous. He's near game breaking. It's just like, so you attack with your entire field, counter, call him, attack, gauge, draw, gain life, and he returns to hand during the end phase, but he's not once per turn, so you can just go counter, attack, counter, attack, counter, attack. And then end phase, return to hand. And if you're playing this impact over here, which we'll get to later, then you call him and attack again. 4 of Fret, he's your setup, he's the buddy. On summon, gauge 2, draw a card, not once per turn. So you can just go like summon, call him, call again, call again, call again, gauge 8, draw 4. And it's just ridiculous. So we're just going to go into some of the spells. I assume that you already know what the majority of these do. If you don't, you can pause the video, look at them. So the phase seal chain, we're only playing the 1 of, really because that's what we had space for. We wanted to play more of it. In fact, actually, we've got another 2 over here in the side deck, but we just couldn't find the space. We like the draw power is absolutely essential. These things, they're all required. The Star Believers, again, we play more Star Believer, but I only have to. Star Believer is literally pot of greed apart from you remove a soul, and the soul that you're probably going to remove is probably from the item. So interesting about this. Pay a gauge, choose a card in your opponent's field, rest, and for that turn, the chosen card cannot stand. You can actually just chain this, right? So, say Max Dragons say this card cannot be rest. You can still go, like when they attack, just go pay a gauge, try to rest that card, you can't, and for this turn it can't stand. So the attack still goes through the first attack, but then it can't stand. It doesn't stop not being able to be restood. So that's why this is important. This thing over here, pay a gauge, call an Astro Dragon from your drop zone by paying its call cost. It's got a lot of uses. If obviously you want to do it to kill the opponent with this, but I mean, if you're in a dire situation, you can call one of these guys from your drop zone. So it's pay a gauge to get 2 gauge and then draw. You can go into this, if the opponent breaks through your defense, just call one of these instead. Like the attack's redirected here. Use it to bring back one of these guys, attack with him again. Get yourself another gauge, get yourself another draw. So the 4 of this, it's pay 2 life, search your deck for any Astro Pigeon, the Astrologer Pigeon, and any item. The only item that I think is worth playing is this one, which is pay a gauge, pay a life. It's Soulguard 3? Yeah, Soulguard 2, sorry. Put up to 2 Astro Dragons from your drop zone into Soul. Double attack, all Astro Dragons in your field can't be destroyed or returned to hand. If an Astro Dragon's on your left or right, this card gets +1 crit. So this goes to 3 crit by itself, and then this also gives it plus crit. So it's actually 4 crit, penetrate, double attack. Is it penetrate? Maybe it isn't penetrate. Okay, maybe it's not penetrate. Maybe I was thinking of something else. I think I'm thinking of Dimension Dragon actually. I'm thinking of my own item. That's the issue there. 3 of this, it's really essential. I'd love to play this at 4, but again, the space is the issue. It's just, all these effects are accessible, destroy 2 cards on the field, return 2 cards on the field to hand, or rest 2 cards on the field. And there's a lot of instances where one of those effects won't be good, but the other ones will. 3 of the set spell, it's literally just additional draw, like more draw power every turn, that's all you require. 2 of this, it's just, for the turn damage you take is reduced by 2. Someone actually used this against me in, I think it was top 4, where I was playing Dimension Dragons, and all of my cards have like 3 crit, so every attack I was doing was just attack for 1, attack for 1, attack for 1, attack for 1, and it was the guy that's counter called from hand that actually saved me, because I was able to attack an additional 2 times, which was enough to kill him. And the other effect of it is drop a soul from an opponent's field and then destroy that card. So that's good for a few decks. It's really good against the... Well, it's kind of good against the mirror depending on what item they're playing. I mean, if they're playing this item, then obviously it's just remove a soul. But there's a few things that's good against. I can't actually think of any off the top of my head, but yeah. It's the fact that it's counter, remove a soul, destroy a card, because a lot of people think that if something has soul guard, then it's going to have to be destroyed twice, and that's not the case. So 3 of that item I already explained. So 2 of this impact, a lot of people have asked me why this impact is played, and I've seen people give explanations. Oh, you play the impact so that you can do this one more time. No, that would be a really bad idea. Like paying 2 gauge to get 1 additional attack is not worth it. The reason why this is played is because Star Dragon World doesn't have an out to phase seal chains or to de-alteration. They don't have a spell negate that activates on your turn. So this is your out to that. If the opponent says end your battle phase, then you just say I have an additional battle phase, and then you continue your attacks. That's what the purpose of it is. Because Astro Dragons won't kill someone with just 3 attacks, or even 2 attacks, if they're playing de-alteration. So it's essential to play this. And if the opponent has like multiple of it, then your phase was going to be ended anyway. But at least if you've got 2, at least you have a out to it. So into the side deck, again 4 chest break. This was just because of the meta call. We expected there to be a lot of Max Dragons. Also, this was also a meta call. This wouldn't be mained at 2 if we didn't think there was going to be a lot of Astro Pigeons and a lot of Dimension Dragons. And because of the 2 of them, that's why this was essential. Because against any other deck, this doesn't really do anything. It's just those 2 that is so essential. So chest breaks are specifically for Max Dragons, for nothing else. This negate a size 3. It was also to be sided in against Max Dragons, just to stop them going off initially. But again, space was an issue, and I didn't really like it. I didn't think it was that good now. And it doesn't really hurt that much else. It's technically good against Agonia. You know, it will stop a Genesis Dragon if you're expecting that. But that's pretty much it. 2 of these spell negates, Brocky was convinced that there would be decks that would set up that would require spells and that he would need to side these in. I think he was going to side these in if he was against Magic World or Dark Dragon World or any kind of burn or mill deck that's, you know, requires spells to set up, and just take out the 2 impact because the 2 impact won't do anything. This, I think he planned to side in against the Mirror, just because it gets off lots of attacks, and also side it in against Dimension Dragons. Just to try and stop them and just survive an additional turn and then, you know, take another move and do that. And he also had a 3rd one of this sided, and I think this was for Max Dragon. I think that's what he wanted to side it against, just because he didn't like the idea of some. I think against Max Dragon he was thinking, yeah, well, Face Seal Chains is useless because you only get like 3 or 4 attacks anyway. I would much rather have this, and basically Face Seal Chain would just swap with this one, the Notify in Warrior Tactics. It's difficult to read from here. I'm actually standing up and I'm just holding this camera. But yeah, so this was the Astro Dragon deck.